All right. Good night, everyone. All right, let me.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Hi.
I saw someone say that they're not hearing me. Can you confirm that you're hearing me?
I can hear you, Jerome.
Okay, Shanika, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. Um,
Nancy, you look so happy.
I say my boss a gas, me not ask Christ. And I say Jerome add me to the live and I guess I'm busting on. Me for all in the belt.
oh my God, did you just eat dinner?
Is a cup soup, Jerome there?
Oh my God,
Good night, everyone.
Hi.
Ned,
Night.
Ned, Ned, the new money them run. You can't do better. Before
No,
people,
honestly,
new money
hold
run.
on. I just personally love cup soup. Like it's something.
No, I
I
love
add
this
things to it, my spice stuff, and it's because I love soup in general. So like any
Mm-hmm.
form of soup, I'm always drinking it. I can't help myself.
Where I take
You know,
cup
say
soup
a
to spice
COVID
it
make
up.
me start drink up soup, because you can't go away and it was convenient.
That's so
So,
nice.
I add the thing, what I add to it, Jerome. So I chop up the scallion. I'm gonna put in the green part. Put in my pepper. Sometimes I put in like boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, make it a
Mm.
whole meal. Add some local shrimp, everything. Like literally, me I cook up the cup soup.
So hold on. So when you're full on take on your wifely duties and such, this is how you plan to wine and dine your husband?
Hey, what else man can cook Jerome that alone for do with me? Come here eat same way. Come here eat. I can't show
Facts.
what why.
Oh my God. So Shanika, before we get into it, how are you doing?
I'm okay.
Just so?
Just
Yesterday was
exactly.
But
no
say,
sir.
work is killing me. My mental health is not doing great. My skin I broke out like go. You get me? I go high low, go buy grocery, and nobody never tell me I'm not supposed to go high low. So things are not looking good. I had
So
money in my
why you
account, and
can't go
now I
ILO?
don't. Listen.
Yeah, what you mean by nobody never tell you?
Aloe is very expensive. I walk through aloe. I'm in the aisle. I know the people that know say bush come here cost me
Oh
$200 for
no.
this. No, I'm not go back over there. I'm not go back.
Mm-mm.
I'm stressed out.
Calvin,
I
what the
want a
people them know.
suggestion.
Oh
We
God.
can eat on the live, but just ask.
Of course, why you can't bust your gas, girl? Because if you drop down and dead, what
No, I
happen?
don't want to look unprofessional.
At
I'm not. Never mind.
at this point, Nate, you're full on.
I eat.
We see you full on crack the egg, drop it in the soup. I gotta ask you if we can eat it on the live. Go ahead. What we don't want is for you to drop down on the live.
Right. So
So
bust your
I can
gas.
drink like a soup and then cup. I'm here. Not drink nothing. Professional setting.
Calvin, tell the people them why you're happy this week. I mean, your name T, so you always a smile.
No, Calvin
Um,
here do a herring eating.
ask him why. Ask him
That's so
why.
nice.
Thanks. 25. So yesterday was my birthday, guys. So I'm, in that festive
So,
mode.
so Calvin born on International Women's Day. The day and Calvin out here tormenting people, girl pick me. So let's
Always.
put that in
Me,
perspective.
Happy
never.
belated birthday, Calvin. You
Right.
couldn't
Thank
tell
you,
me
Happy
say March
Netanya.
birthday.
birthday.
So,
What's that again?
So you
I was
couldn't
just
tell me say
telling you
March
happy
your birthday.
We have the whole
March.
month to celebrate, so we can talk after.
You born
Shanika,
that
we
one
can't hang
month?
up.
Yeah.
Shanika, you and I can come on.
See, that's what's happening. They have the whole month. What we are gonna do?
Oh my God. All right. So to everyone who is tuning into another week of JASL After Dark, we just want to tell you welcome. I'm hoping that everybody is safe. I'm hoping that everyone is home and dry and doing good. This week, again, as usual, we're gonna get into another juicy topic and just share our views. Let me start off by saying the views expressed here are not necessarily those of Jamaica Aid Support for Life. But what is of Jamaica in support of my life is that we do offer free HIV and syphilis testing, we do offer PrEP, right? So those things. But the topic that we're gonna explore tonight, which is modern woman and relationship, we're
Modern
gonna
girl. Modern girl.
modern with Nate. But all right. But before we get into the topic, there are a few things that happened last week or into this week that we have to talk about. One of the first things we want to talk about is the budget debate and the new money. Shanika, how are you
Huh?
feeling about new money?
I'm not
So,
feeling anything. I'm going to be very honest with you. Very, 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 very honest with you. I wasn't listening. I went on Twitter, saw what was going on. I realized that the value wasn't increasing. Then just like with pretty money, we're gonna cost the same thing. So I wasn't paying attention. But I'm happy to hear what's going on.
so you don't care about the budget debate. Is that young people, or is it just you? You think what about your friends? So maybe you never, those around you, were they talking about the budget debate? They never care.
No, because I was home. Nobody was talking. Most persons who were talking about it, like in my circle, like WhatsApp status and whatever, they were just talking about the fact that we're getting pretty money and the value is not increasing. So that was like most of it. But I wasn't watching because it not put money in my pockets, unfortunately.
Calvin.
The new money. Well, for me, I don't think having new money was necessary, but okay, we are having new money. No problem. But let's analyze the new money, right? I'm looking and seeing where we are seeing 6 prime ministers, I believe, or yeah, and the money, 2 who would have been PMP prime ministers and 4 which would have been JLP prime ministers.
What the politics is
I
real.
think that right away is an area for division, because you know how important politics is to the vast majority of Jamaicans, especially the older ones, right? And that's a source of division right away. But why are we not at the place where we can see a Bob Marley on our money? I feel that as a country, I don't think there would have been an issue with Bob Marley on the money, right? And if we're inserting prime ministers and we're inserting some more, I feel like the only female prime minister could have shared the note with Nanny.
That's true.
I feel like that could have been a thing. So we could have Nanny and Portia on the same note. My personal beliefs. Where
I
the new
mean, and
2000.
their personalities are pretty much the same. So they would.
Yes.
Well, we never know. Portia did get shot too.
No, their
Next,
personalities.
next over to you. What you feel about the whole budget debate and the new money?
So I think, well, I thought that the new money was pretty when I saw it. I was like, this nicey, but we never need a $2,000 note. Like,
For what?
honestly, we don't. I
Do
don't
you
think we
know
need a
though?
$2,000 note.
Do you know if you need? Do you need a $5,000 note?
We don't need that either. That's my point. When it was coming, when they announced that they needed, when they were going to make a $5,000 note, I was so against it. Because furthermore, $1,000 was my limit. No, it's easier for somebody beg you $2,000.
Yeah.
You know, if you say, say I grand alone, $2,000. You already have the notes. Like, it's just, I don't love it. It's not giving, and the addition of new people on the money. But but it's like keep my little $150 and $1,000, and sell them as like some, sell them. I say,
Go ahead, Shanika.
I have a question for Calvin, because I don't understand anything about this. I want to know why, outside of the facts that we never needed, why new money necessary?
Well, I can't answer that question, but I can chime in on the $2,000 conversation. I think that having the $2,000, the new $2,000 note, I think it's gonna bridge that gap between the $1,000 bill and the $5,000 bill. I mean, the $5,000 bill would have indicated inflation and the need to spend larger quantities of money more frequently. But I think if you realize you spend more than grand very frequently, so when it comes down to producing money, you have to produce a lot of $1,000 bills, right? So it would have been cheaper to produce $2,000 bills instead of the similar amount of, or the dollar equivalent of $1,000 bills. So there is value in that. I still don't know if that in and of itself is enough of a reason, but There's value in it.
Yeah. Someone even I think somebody said it on in the comment section just now that the notes, the new notes are also easier to be used by members of the blind community. So there are some
So
special features
did
Yeah,
about
they put
I
braille
the
on
heard
money
that
as
it?
it
as
is.
well.
Braille, did they put
So
braille on it, or is it because it bright and pretty now?
well, seemingly there's seemingly something
I'm not sure of the
that
exact thing, but I know I read that there are features which can help persons from the blind community.
my
Okay.
only thing with the money, and I think harping on what Calvin said, I wish that more female were represented on the money, especially because they announced it on International Women Day. I think that would have been a big thing. I saw where somebody said maybe not Portia because she's still alive, but in any event, people like Louise Bennett, I don't know. I think
Right, right.
that would have been a great
So hold on, why
addition
somebody
and
have to
something.
die before we can actually
Exactly.
honor them?
I saw someone make the comment saying Portia is not dead. I don't know if there's a rule that you have to die before you can go on money.
That's
I think
true.
the general rule why not that I'm saying it must be done. I think generally people when it comes to these things that are monumental or milestone, sometimes you don't want to necessarily honor people within their lifetime and then they do something that you may have to change it. So if they do
But
something
it's
that
a
is
shame, it's just shame. And
totally
that's
out.
why I got Jerome people make it
Yeah.
shame.
But
So
I'm just saying that
why can you do shameful things before and get celebrated, and you can't do shameful things after?
you know, so I
I
think maybe
understand what
that's the
Jerome
thing.
is saying because suppose she does something of national disgrace, right?
Yeah.
And you have a whole note that persons are spending with her face, and it
If
would
she
have
not
been
do it
like a
already,
slap
I
in
don't
the
if she not do
think
it
face.
already, she not gonna do
so.
it again. She get, oh no, she tired.
All right. The next thing about the budget debate was when the minister mentioned the name Keisha. So he would have mentioned that um say Keisha can now get her partner job, and there was this whole uproar because person think he was referring parliamentarian politicians seemingly know about the whole combo deal. I remember Keisha the combo. Them every the one of them in the House of Parliament seemingly knew about that. I don't know if it's a good
Come
sign that
back.
our politicians are in tune in terms of what's happening on the ground, or is it just indicative that the politicians them careless and rare?
Honestly, Jerome, I'm just
Politicians are
gonna
people too,
say
who know if they never don't get enjoy the combo.
uh,
Mm?
I'm just gonna say that remember that we're in a digital age. Like you can literally tweet to your MP, tweet to your prime minister. Like
True.
it's not hard to connect with people all over the world. So with information like circling and going viral all the time. Who is to say them can't come about video? Bumbo to bumbo. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Yeah, I agree with Nets on that one. I think it's because of social media and the digital age.
I think it's because
Okay.
of social media and something else.
And wow.
There are
Me don't
people
want hear
too
Shanika explanation,
American
please.
who don't like
Ah,
discount.
Calvin, what else happened this week? Last week what you want to talk about?
Gas prices.
I don't drive. I'm so
Because all of them want
sorry.
put people them.
Listen, the gas prices are ridiculous. Prices are go up, and I think the prices are gonna go up tomorrow as well. So
Yeah, $5.
yeah, it's been a rough period for. I mean, and you know how fuel stay. Once fuel goes up, a lot of things also go up.
Everything.
Yeah, so
What's
electricity
zero?
also.
Well,
Yeah.
big up to all of the drivers, them no
You
luck and
know,
success.
honestly, when I was in Atlanta, well, before I went to Atlanta, gas prices were like 180, right? When I came back, it was over $200, and I'm saying 2 months. I left for 2 months, and it skyrocketed. Like $20 in 2 months is a lot, and then it's going up to $5 again. So at the end of the day, once about me, I gotta drive out and my boy car coming. Nah, my own, I can't afford the gas. Calvin, come pick me up anytime I'm ready, boo.
No problem.
Alright.
Call me. I saw someone in the comments asking where is our location in Montego Bay. So for those asking, our Montego Bay location is 16 East Street. That's the Van Hayes building, 16 East Street, Montego Bay, St. James. So you can always go there, get a free HIV testing.
All right, cool. Next, anything happened this week? Either publicly or personally that you want us to talk about? Because me know your life is festive.
Honestly, no, my life has not been that festive in the past, couple weeks. Because from I came back to Jamaica, like all I've been focused on was like work and then doing the deed. So I've literally been in my own world. Like my friend of mine invited me out and I say, can't make it, peace out. I'm trying to be this, not trying to be like an inside person, but I'm trying to go out less because entertainment, and like lifestyle take up girl budget too much. Cause you have to have the clothes, you have to do the ear, you have to do the nails, you have to buy the shoes, and it's just a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna stop buying clothes personally, but kind of all the inside thing now, work and home. And on Saturdays, I'm also at home, so it's a brand new feeling. Nothing is happening, Jerome.
Shanika, what I'm for you personally this week?
It's completely the opposite of Nets. Because Nets is out there. Like now that she's inside, because I used to be just inside all the time. I'm trying to be outside more. So I've been going out with my friends. We've been going to like Ochi, Mystic Mountain, and the whole place where you go to the ATV and the dirt and whatever. So I've been trying to be more out there. I'm dating more now. Them something there. Yeah, so that's what's
When you say you're
happening.
dating more, is it that you have one man where you go to one at time, or you have
No,
you're
I'm
going
not
on
dating
several
that.
dates?
That's not
I'm
dating, darling.
I'm not dating that, Jerome.
I'm learning. I
Jerome,
learn
what do
real
you mean
fast.
you're learning? Because dating, if you're dating one person, that means you're dating exclusively. If you're dating, you date, like you meet people, you see what you like the boy, like this not the boy, but you like that's not somebody else.
Yep.
You see, you are gonna make sure you define dating as that.
No, Jerome,
Because
That's what dating is.
that's what dating is, and Jamaica does not have a proper dating culture. Hence, why people think that when you date, you're a demon and you're wicked.
Yeah,
And then
it's
another thing
true.
is, a lot of people lack honesty when they're dating, and that's something that is very crucial in dating because you can't say me, yeah, so I can go out and you never tell me say I date somebody else. Like conversation, sir. Yeah, one thing about me, I'm a date. So don't ever think that you alone.
to be honest, I don't think I can do. And again, I understand what you're saying, Nate, and I think that is totally healthy. But on a personal level, you see, when we use the word date, may have to go run out of dates until you can go date somebody else. I'm gonna date somebody else. Honestly, me go get
Girl,
bored of
that's
you. You
not
go get bored
dating
of me.
then.
No, me, Nate, me and you can go for one good date, and me go home. And after me can go movie on Tuesday, the 2 for 1, right? And then me reach home after 12 and then even stay up late the night and message you and I talk about the movie and what. And then the next day, may I check in for you, you have the audacity to tell me, oh, I'm going to be going out with Calvin later or whatever.
But Jerome, you like me, but never
What?
me like you. We start there. And then, second thing is, as I said, it's a conversation. So you know near us to me tell you say we are date and I am seeing other people. What is that? And then Jerome, the thing is, you date one person, like how them stay. But you say, boy, don't start with the person, I'm just continue. Hell no. Are you nuts?
No, I'm not saying continue with the person, but may I say at least don't it no.
Don't eat what?
Shanika, go
Don't
on.
eat what? Don't eat what? What you want for done?
Don't
Jerome,
date.
Jerome, I think you're alone on this one. I think I'm with Shanika and Nets. I think you're
I'm
very
sure.
much
I'm sure,
alone.
Calvin.
You have
I'm
to
very
date.
much sure.
You have to
No,
explore
but
your
Kelvin love
options.
dating, so I'm not even
Yes.
I
What's
probably
that?
like
What's
your
that, Natalia?
thing.
What you say?
5 days a week, 5 different ones.
Yeah, as a Kelvin say, Kelvin is a dater. So it must date.
Serial data.
It must date.
Guys on the live, you're hearing that from Netanya. You're not hearing that from me. So it doesn't. You don't have to take it as being the truth.
That's true. That is very true.
Where did she lie? At what point in the conversation she lied? Exactly.
She's a woman. That's what they do.
In Women's Month, Calvin. Oh my God.
It's my month too.
Shanika. So wait. I know, honestly, guys, we soon get to the topic we're coming to talk about tonight, but this is interesting to me. So when you're dating, right? Is it that you tell if you go out with Kyle today and tomorrow you go out with Sean, you tell Kyle say I go out with Sean tomorrow. Oh, how that work?
It's just a conversation. I'm going on a date tomorrow, wherever may I go. If you don't want me to go out with Sean tomorrow, carry me out tomorrow, because me want to go out tomorrow. It's not a problem.
No, Shanika, if you don't want me, go out with Sean, guess what you do? You ask me for the video. That, see it there.
Are
See
you?
it there.
You're
With
jealous.
that man, you know,
You're
men
jealous.
want you to stay with them and don't talk to nobody else. That's
Then
not
bring
me.
you out one time and that eat that. Then no, we not be
Yeah, girl.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
Subscribe. It's just because the Jamaican culture. You get me? They have it's just a fact. We have been shamed into just talking to one person, and as soon as you talk to the one person and you feel like a feelings in your toe, you're supposed to go there with them. You're not supposed to go out and explore options. Nobody there shame me like that. Unsubscribed. What about that? Never go out. Never got Pegasus. I don't got AC Hotel. I don't got Marriott. Yeah, one calamari. I forgot.
But that's my fear with dating in the truest sense, I think that it doesn't allow you to really form a bond with a person. I think you go through. I think the views here are first are those of Jerome. No, so I think you don't get a chance to form a bond. So today I go to next tomorrow. I go to Shanika. So it's like for some reason. And for me, I feel where that can lead to you comparing and contrasting, as opposed to you really being able to say, you know, this is something that I'm willing to compromise on. The minute next come in the week, I'm never like it. And last week, Shanika, they wear a natural hair, and that did work for me. And then next week, net foot look like say, you know, there's gotta be things that me keep and I go back and forth, almost like I want to straddle. Yeah, so there, you don't know.
So yes, Jerome must come with natural hair.
I'm saying if it's you alone, whatever form you come in, I will learn to love you that way. But if we have option, I go always, yeah.
But it's good to have option to get to choose the one we like the most.
Which can be problematic. All right, let's go ahead.
You're not
So I was gonna say that there are two things there. Number one is, as humans, I always like somebody more. So it doesn't matter. So you're always gonna like somebody more. You're gonna be more interested to know that person, and then when you realize that this is the person this is the direction you want to go in, you can just ease off on the other person, right? And number two, when you're dating, you have to date objectively. And Jeremy, it's not like you are dating objectively. You're dating subjectively, because you already have in your mind what you want. You want a girl with natural hair, me have cream hair. So guess what? It can't work, but you feel like a dating because dating. But the thing is, dating is just being open to the options that are out there. Because if you go with what you already want in your mind, you're literally not dating this person because you like them. You're just a date them, but they date. Right? So, and the thing is, people date for multiple reasons. Some people date to marry. Some people date to just make acquaintances, have companionship. So it's like you have to find out why you are dating, right? And then you also need to have a conversation with people, because dating is getting more popular in Jamaica. We not reached nowhere yet, but it's getting more popular in Jamaica. But people don't want to have the conversation because, as Shanika said, we're you know, basically demonized for wanting to go out with multiple people. Just because we go out one time, we'll have a little drinks, blue drinks up at TGI. Don't mean to me I hear that, sir.
Right.
Because I have a blue drink with you, and then tomorrow I have a pink drink with Ray. Do not come on.
And I can have a blue drink by myself. So
Ned, well on. So but the part that is puzzling and me just can't get over, and I hear you. But even stuff like those, even little things like those, I know personally are gonna affect the hell out of me. Me and you go out, right? Especially with social media and something. Me and you go out, I'ma feel good, so I make it over upon Ned status. Let's put me up and show me some buy our electric lemonade up at TGI. Then tomorrow, Calvin Carr go buy one Long Island and she put up that on her status too. Come on,
but you never feel no way, because remember, say at this point, who is to say you have a connection with this person already? You may not, or you may, and if you do have a connection, you express it to that person and say, yo, I don't like when you go out with other people because it make me feel one way. It's literally communication, you know. Because if you feel away and I can say to you, say, Jerome, boy, me not feel so about you, so I'm gonna leave you alone. I'm gonna say, Jerome,
Right.
say, my life is true. You know, if you never talk, I don't know how you feel. It's literally why are you gonna bottle up your feelings for the purpose of somebody else? It's not healthy.
I hear you. Calvin, serial data. How do you have the how, how do you have the conversations with with Kimberly versus Taya and Keisha? Yeah, one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But no, you don't capture them from your social media. I don't. You don't. So then make it over to your status. So at least you save yourself there. But do you tell them what and what do you say? I they just don't know.
All right, it all depends, right? So there are instances where I can communicate to one person and say, yo, well, at the end of the day, let me just make that clear that it's never a case where I am gonna give you the impression or tell you that you're the only one, and I'm not. That's not what it is, right? But in having that conversation, for me, it's I don't really explicitly say that I'm doing this with X or I'm doing this with Y, right? But I make it clear, right, that I am exploring options. So it's not like I'm gonna go out one night and then post this and then go out another night and post that. But I am keeping my options open. I don't really communicate all the details with them or much details, but what I am true to, what I do give them is the honesty about what takes place between us. So if me feel like say yo something can go on here, so I'm gonna communicate that. But if I don't feel like it's going anywhere, I'm gonna communicate that also.
I have a question.
All right.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I have
Shanika.
a question.
And then come over to Nate. Go on.
Maybe I didn't hear it, but do you explicitly say to anybody, Calvin, that
Yeah,
you're
he said
dating
it.
other people? Oh, he says it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
All right, Shanika. There's a question. There's a question here from J_certified_yardie.
No, it's not. No, I saw it. It's not because you want to go out with a lot of different people every day. Because if that was the case, you just go out with your friends. It's about getting to know people. I've met persons who I like,
You can't know.
and
Somebody other date them though. But go
listen.
on.
I met people who I like. I meet Calvin today. I like Calvin's vibe. I meet Jerome tomorrow. I like Jerome more than home. I like Calvin vibe. I meet Nets the
But
next
that's
day.
not fair.
But meet Nets the next day, and I like Nets a little bit. When I go out with each of you guys, it's just being there, having a conversation, picking your brain, seeing how you think, and that way I eliminate people. If me and Nets think the same, but that's what it is for me. It's about elimination.
Me
It is.
feel like the chance balloon. Like you just have the pick
But
and
Jerome,
you just
hold
have
on.
wait,
No,
yeah,
but
wait
like,
for number
what are you doing?
31.
Are
No,
you Jerome?
honestly,
Are you just
I think you
liking
know the
people and
chance.
getting into relationships?
No, I'm not just liking people and getting into relationship, but there are certain things. So first of all, if I'm going out on a date with you, so there are certain things I would have done before. So either I was physically attracted to you, or I would have been something. Either we had a conversation, there was something about you that drew me to you, right? So let me say, all right, cool. Clearly, we can go on a date with you. So some level of like is there, and all I'm saying is that until I am able to go through the process of saying, okay, this is just merely a friendship, this is just merely somebody who should stay as my work colleague, this is merely just somebody who may can have a part of my network. I'm not going to be going and saying, oh, me I go on a date with you, and I just feel like that
Yeah, but
it's
like
just
dating,
confusing.
I date because I'm trying to find somebody to be in a relationship with. But dating it's not always your end goal. You get me? Like things happen. I go on a date with Nets. Yeah, date Nets, you look good and whatever. I mean, you think the same and whatever. But you know what? I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you, but I would want you as a valued friend. You meet people, you make friendships. So it's not about
But
like
that's
a
but
relationship.
no, but what I'm saying, Shanika, so at that point when you find out, say, after even the first or second encounter, you realize that Nets won't be no more than a friend. That can be expressed. I'm gonna expect you to still have a pan date with Nets. Cause you know say it not work out, but I'm gonna expect you go pan date with Nets today and make up your mind yet, but you still want to go pan date with me tomorrow. I'm just saying, why is it that you can't finish the process with one before you take up the next.
Oh, so you want me if you just said nets, well, it's not gonna work. Just cut her off and then breathe like a bit.
I just don't think that,
And then go
you
out?
know, seeing it through the true essence of dating, you know, you can date somebody, you guys aren't in a relationship, but when you talk and you vibe differently, that's fine. When you finish, you can move on to date somebody else. But I feel like the true essence of dating is to just find out what you want.
Yeah.
Right? If you're finding out what you want and you see it in one person, Jeremy, you meet people daily, like sometimes I say a boy and a boy that have a buzz, a boy that have one next boy have a stronger buzz. But just
Yeah,
you're not in a
that's
relationship,
true.
you don't owe anybody anything. You were just exploring. Yeah, we have people who date one at a time. I have people who date multiple, just find out what works for you. Like me, girl, like me, in a date. I have tolerance. And this a boy. Right? I don't date. And that's just because, you know, in my arts of art, you have the energy. So it's either my
What
husband
do you
just
call
come
it, girl?
correct one time and don't come at all.
That's very good.
But just
All
say
right,
every
so
day
there's a,
come run out of clothes.
all right. But so there are certain things. Again, I thought a comment. Mr. J, please spin roll, go back to your Pentecostal slash evangelist Republican mystic church and leave the dating cover to the mature adult. That's fair. I think I'm just here to learn from the conversation, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say to that comment. All right. I mean, I can't learn if I don't have these conversations, but I mean, I know. So there's a fear too, and I think this the person who made that comment, I'm even running from me more. There's a part of me that thinks that sometimes dating in the sense that or sorry, you're describing it is somewhat um problematic in terms of or somewhat maybe for games. And let me explain, right? So there's a part of it that sounds like you may be into it for the spoils. So you will go on a date with somebody who is able to take you to TJ. Then you will go on a date with somebody who can carry you go Rio for one tree for one weekend. Then you will go on one date with somebody who can carry you up a Blue Mountain, throwing words on it last carry you up a Blue Mountain one Saturday. And it goes on and on. So you will go on date with different persons who are able to give you different opportunities. So so again, my concern is that are you going and trying to meet somebody that you can able to learn about the person, say, yo, the person have this amount of educational background, then in terms of family values, and and where to compromise. We just keep on thinking that you meet these different people have different at different levels in life. So how do you come to at what point you don't
But
know which one is the
Jerome, the
one?
thing is, I feel like you're thinking about dating as like a material thing rather than an emotional thing. Because a man can take you go rape on a first date, a man can fly out. I had a date one time, somebody flew me out to go on
Jesus,
that
I've
date.
seen what you've done for others.
And the restaurant was at this very, very high end in the city. And I went there for a week. Mind you, the only time I saw this person was on video call, but this person fly me out. I met somebody else.
You never named Simon.
No, it's not.
Tinder swindler.
I've met other people who want to go out for ice cream, want to go like Ribbies. Ate a Ribbies, but I like the person. Went to Ribbies. Great. Met people who want to carry me to Jangas. And it's just that the person who flew me out, we're friends now because I don't like you like that. Right? It doesn't matter the extremes or the extravagant things that you do. At the end of the day, if I don't have that emotional like connection towards you, that's not it. The man who came up in the mountain, me ate a mountain, but my like the boy. So guess what? I went and it wasn't anything extravagant. We went up there, went on a hike. I'm just like to leave like jog for fun. But, like I don't like walking to the front of my scheme. I hate that.
All right.
Right?
Ned.
So it's emotional connection, Jeremy. It doesn't matter what the person can give you. If you genuinely like somebody and you realize that, say this is it. Yeah.
But Ned,
You just express
described.
that.
All right. Let me ask this another straightforward way. And you know you're gonna answer me. When you go on these dates, do you pay? Are you the one ever footing the bill?
No. Because I never ask somebody else, and them ask me.
I've gone on dates unpaid because I invited them.
Yeah, if I invite you out, I will
Yeah.
pay. But if you
So
invite me
it's
out,
not like
listen, but there might that come my big foot, you know. Me never talk about it, you know. And you come to me and you say, yeah, whatever. But somebody in the comments said dating isn't always a pursuit of something serious, and that is very true. You can
facts.
date and just move on. Intentional dating, as the other person said, you have intention and say, this is what I want from the dating scene, and this is what I'm gonna get. But you can go on dates and just have fun with people and then leave. Like you not must live with a man or a woman.
Okay.
It's not about
Okay.
like the material
Again,
part of it, like you're thinking,
I'm
though.
learning because for me, when I think about dating again, it's always for me, from my experience, I'm always gone on dates with the intention that I'm hoping that the fact that I had some amount of initial feeling and liking for this person that we can eventually go into a relationship.
And then
Mind
what
you,
happens?
That's
What
that's what
some
I'm
happens when
saying. You're not dating
you go
me
on the
not go
date
find
and it
out,
doesn't
objectively.
work out?
You never
huh?
date objectively, Jeremy. Are going with the way you already having in your mind.
Yes, me not have the time. Me not have the
What
I mean,
happens?
if me never feel certain way, me not go say me I go on a date. If a friend me want then, so why me not just call you over, call you on the phone, play that me know or something.
So you
Jerome,
don't
let's
do
go
a
into the
friend
topic.
date?
Let's go into the topic, please.
Jerome?
Because my camera domino talk. Let's go.
No.
One more thing. But there's another side of it, because this whole thing about being invested too early, right? Because yes, person's going on date for different reasons, but on the flip side, especially as the man, if you are financing these dates and you are going on dates, it doesn't make sense that you get too invested on a first date. Like, if this is not something you can afford to do and then be okay with it not working out eventually afterwards, then it's probably something you should not do, and probably something you should reserve for someone that you get more serious with. So for example, I can go to a nice restaurant with someone, with a woman, and I realize when I really not even text me really want to text her again, and that is okay, because I would have gone there knowing that it's a yes or a no. That's possible at the end of the day. So I
You're
think
not
that's a,
other you're not other dessert, you know.
No, it's true. Like you have people that you talk to over the phone and you text nice, but when you meet them in person, you're just like, hell no. Like,
yeah.
Yes.
what is this? See, your
Like
mind can
Jesus.
change like one thing and
Jerome,
then turn it off.
it sound like you are falling in love over the WhatsApp voice note them.
As
No,
Jerome clear the voice note, send off. It
Mm-hmm.
has
It
seen
no,
sound
that
that's
like
propose.
no, that's not what it means. It means that if I am, if even if even if it means that it's one date or two or whatever, as soon as I realize that I am dating you and you alone, so I have to go through the period of saying this is not working out, and I'm explaining to you that this not work out before. So me now go on a date with you today and go on a date with next tomorrow. As far
Jerome,
as I'm
you're
concerned.
not dead.
Mhm.
Nah, you're not dead, and that's
All
fine.
right. All right,
Topic,
we
come
have
with
20,
me interested.
we have 20 minutes left. Modern women and relationship. Nate, what that mean to you? Does that even mean anything?
Jerome, it doesn't mean anything to me, to be fair, because
Mm,
what is a
you
modern
know,
woman
me
and
know.
relationships? Like, women have been doing the same things. The only thing is that women have job, and women can vote, and women can drive in some countries, of course. But women were doing what they always did. Like, you know, I just think that we live in a time where more women are exploring what people would say are male dominated industries, and earning more money than men. And I just feel
yeah.
like men just don't like that. So them talk about modern woman and relationship, because they must say, well, my mother never worked. She did stay home and get born almost in the years. And, you know, she still wash, cook, and clean through her pain. And women these days aren't doing anything.
Is
Like,
it that women want to do it next, or is it a case where, um, is it that women actually want to go out and work, or is it a case that men are sucking off more? Is it because I'm always wondering, is it that women do enjoy a sense of one being able to stay home and being pampered and being taken care of, and it's just because the man now go out and bring in the bread like he's supposed to, why they are going out and actually seeking work?
Okay, so honestly, I think it depends on the woman. So a lot of women will see what their grandmothers or mothers go through and say to themselves, say, well, this is not going to be me, right? So that kind of trauma and PTSD really pushes them to go out and be like hyper independent and everything. And then you have women who have been, pampered their entire lives, and they're like, well, I want to be a housewife. You have women who go to school with hopes and dreams of becoming some big shot doctor, big shot lawyer. Then they start working there and they're like, well, I meet somebody and I want to be a housewife. It just depends on the type of woman. Because one thing about it, me, more stay at home.
Yeah, man.
More stay at home.
I'm a damn distress.
More stay at home. I want husband who go work. I'm going to stay at home. I'm going to just randomly make TikTok. I still want to live my life. Because after working for so much years, I'm just like, this is not the fucking wave. Like, it's not.
How much years? No one treated
5 years. 5 years, Jerome. 5 years. I've been working since I was 20.
Just start contribute to NHT.
I've been working since I was 20. But the thing is, I work hard, and I want to, and I like enjoying life. And if I feel like I don't have the time to enjoy life as much as I'd want, then it don't really make sense. But if I have a husband and my husband is in a state where he can make me stay home, him make enough money where he can make me stay home and say, babe, just breed out to picnic. Not even breed, because my husband can't use them word, but babe, get pregnant and we have a kid together. And, you just stay home, have fun their dreams. There are men like that exist. Like, one thing about it, and I'm not going to hold it down, and I'm not going to hold it back either. It's just that pick a woman who aligns with your goal. Right. Because a lot of men want to retire their wives. Man, no one in wife are working on shit all the time. Every day you go, me tell them with Susie I work though. It don't make no sense. So people have goals, find who goes align with it. Like, if you can't want a stay-at-home wife, but you're there with somebody who's a hyper independent. There are women who want to make men pay for food when they go out. Like, even if the man invite them out, they have to pay for them food.
Yeah. Send their Lord.
So
Shanika, I hear this. And I hope, yeah, can't be the same. I have to go. All right, let's skip that because we're not gonna work out. But Shanika, the whole thing around women being naked, barefoot, in the kitchen and prepare our husband food. There are some women, I think, because I do have the conversation, right? I think society has now gone to a point where you talk about feminism and things. There are women who still, as Ned would mention, that still enjoy or fantasize about that, saying that one would love one man just full and take care of me, me naked, in the kitchen, me my pass and just that. So for you, apart of you don't have that desire where you say, but I want that. Me not necessarily want to go hustle my bread.
You know what? Like I have a unique take on it. Let me just say first that women are not monoliths. You get me? We get to express our uniqueness. Like, we are not the same, and we have different needs, different wants. How we feel about it. I don't want to be. You get me? But I feel like for now, I'm just going to hug up the independent part of it, because I don't think about getting married and I don't want kids. So, like, for now, it's just the independent way for me. If I find a man who no wanna pick me at all out of me, and he wants to retire me, I'm all for that. But it's just like I have a fear that if I'm going to be with a man and I'm going to say I'm going to get married to this man and we're going to settle down and he's going to retire me, he's going to want me to push out like 2 in the film. I'm not depend on that. So for me right now, it's just being independent. I don't want to be barefoot.
Shedika, I'm going to come back to you. Calvin, for you, grew up in a church as such. How you feel? Are you comfortable when it comes to relationship? You're comfortable with your woman even making more money than you? Or why do you need to stay a woman and make you do your angle
yeah, I'm definitely comfortable. I'm definitely comfortable, Nets, with my woman making more money than me. I don't think the relationship is centered around who makes money or who makes more money. So that should not be a problem, right? The connection we have and all of that, the friendship we have should be what is paramount. No, I desire being able to have my wife not work. I mean, that would be something. I think that is the ideal situation. If as a man you're able to, as you said, retire your wife, that would be an ideal situation. But unfortunately, most persons will not be able to achieve that ideal, right? So in that case, I think that it's all about making things work. So for me, making things work with her in terms of, taking care of the home, having the kids that I do want. You don't have to have the football team though, but taking care of the kids and all of that. Those tasks shared between us and all of that. But it's not a case where, I have to be the provider. I have to do this, I have to do that. Things can be flexible and I'm okay with that. I'll do the cooking. That's fine.
Shenika, you said something, and I think, especially in Jamaican context, so even when the man now stand by the woman and take care of the kids, she needs to have the man youth. So when I go back to the dating, so what you were out here go on dates? Me, I wonder if this is the reason why you have to go on so much dates. Because when you go on dates, I tell the man, say, I out here do not want him to have kids.
You know what happened? I always try to express that before they even ask me for a date. I tell it to anybody.
Do they
that
pay
will
for your food after that? Do they pay
Yes,
for your
they
food
do.
after that?
Yes, they do. Because then it's just like I understand she doesn't want to have kids, but coming on a date with me anyway. You get me? Some people, you tell them that you don't want a certain thing, and them things that them can convince you over 2 liquor. It's just a situation like that. And then while dating, I would understand. Say Calvin want pitney, and Calvin look like if me and him tag him, I go force me to have pitney. Calvin has to go. Come in upon that. You get me? It gives me the option of eliminating those who want pitney, because I don't want it.
All right, somebody was saying it's confusing. We're actually talking about modern women and relationships. So we are trying to express and explain what that even mean, and if that still have any relevance, or it's a case where women are just out there doing what them want to do, or is it just a case that this whole idea about modern women is just a facade? Is it just a case where women really and truly want to stay home, and it's just because men now play them role, them just decide for them way gotta work?
If that's even the case, if staying home because the man now got road is even the case, when you meet some of these men and see how they talk and express themselves, you understand why some women would definitely go there to get it for themselves. Because if you depend on somebody, man, you're dead for hungry, wolf can dry you away. You're dead. You can't depend on them, so you have to go work.
Ned?
So I have 2 points. See, the Brandy said what I said earlier. Different people want different things. Fine. And I have 2 points as well. It's not that men aren't stepping up to the plate. I mean, look at the men that God are making nowadays. These men are not of God. I don't know who met them, but some spawn of something. However, right? I'd just like to say that we're living in a time where women have more freedom than ever before. So women can do things that even up to 50, 60 years ago, unimaginable. Like, yeah, in a sense, what? Women working in ICT, women who work in, engineering, whatever, like all of these things, women being plumbers, like things like that couldn't do before. And it wasn't being done before, unlike less is like a one-off type of thing. So at the end of the day, women are exploring that freedom because they have it. And if you have the freedom to do something naturally as human beings, you're gonna do it. And women are great in a lot of these things that they do decide to pursue. Because the other day I saw an article about a mechanic who is a woman, and she was like, when them said the woman know her things, it's like, I feel like a lot of men, especially alpha males, are very threatened by women who don't need their help. So
Next, those things, again, you say men sometimes are threatened by those things. But is it a case where sometimes when the women are out here working and pushing and just full on taking on their career, does it not affect and impact the relationship in terms of like the romance, the emotional attachment,
I
the
don't think
sex?
it should, because if a man is strong and very self-aware, right?
Yes.
If he is secure within himself, none of this should matter. And the thing is, a lot of men are weak, and I'm not going to blame them. It's just their upbringing and socialization.
Yeah.
That's okay. A lot of men don't want to break out of that mindset because they've heard it for so long. They're passing it down to other men, passing it down to other boys. But I'm saying, like, if a man is very sure of himself, he does not care. And then another thing is, people see work, which I don't understand why. People see work as getting up every day, going to the office. Like, people make so much money digitally. You don't have to leave your house. You can make money in your sleep. So even if a woman say, you know what, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5, and I'm going to stay home, she can literally print one book, put on Amazon, sell it. She can write a book. She
Facts. Start
can
a
make
hobby.
content. She starts a YouTube channel, start a cooking TikTok, something. It's so easy to make money just with your phone. So even if you decide you're gonna stay home, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not working and just depending solely on a man. Because say like, yeah, you have some men in the world, like there's 1% who are actually trustworthy. Fine. But remember, there's still a 99, and you're not sure if you're up with the 1%. So you still have to find a way for having a little get vex money, even if you're going at the same house, whatever. You ever watch Dark Man Black Woman? Yeah. That man at the 99%, that type of vibe. But it's just that different things for different people. If your man's secure within himself, he doesn't care. Like, I'm more like
Yeah.
Kelvin. You think Kelvin business going on? Kelvin just want to say him love you and you love him. I that chit chat.
Facts. Listen, I was dating this woman, and her favorite line was, "Oh, men can't handle me. Men can't handle me." Thinking, she's the strongest woman in the world. But
How much
yeah,
time did you make her cry?
but you see, the thing is, if you're able to be a strong person, like as a man, you need to understand working with an independent woman, a woman who sees herself as a strong woman. Because as Ness was saying, that a male might feel threatened by her. At the end of the day, when it comes down to these women, if you ask her to do this, you ask her to do that, she's more likely going to say no in terms of you doing something for her. So you have to learn how to relate to that woman, and the secret most times is just to do it, and she will appreciate that. You have to be assertive, you have to be strong, you have to be sure of what you want and sure in the execution, or else you're just gonna appear like a weak man to her, and she's just not gonna find you like as the man that she would submit to. So where your question about does it affect romance, and that if you portray yourself to be that strong character, that assertive man, then naturally, no matter how strong this woman is, no matter how independent she is, she's just naturally gonna see you as someone she can submit to.
And
All right, hold
for
on.
women,
Let me jump on. Sorry, next. Let me just read out. I am underscore Brandy comment. Sometimes though, when women achieve great things, they adopt this strong persona, not being vulnerable with their men. Like they're competing with the men, want to feel like men in the relationship.
But then it goes back to what Calvin is saying. You get me? If the man is the man, then there isn't going to be any competition. She's going to submit to him, and the man are gonna feel like the man in the relationship. You get me? And then that's why
But
dating is
should the woman be
important as
submitting
well.
though, as a modern woman? Is that problematic for you? I mean, talk about
okay.
it.
So what I'm gonna say is that I don't have an issue with submission. I just feel like people just don't understand the actual definition of submission. But submission doesn't mean like, you're really like giving in everything, like you're being weak in the knees. Like it's
Come for the plate as me done eat.
It's like at the end of the day, I do understand what Brandy is saying, because Brandy said a lot of times women have to develop this rock hard, strong persona, and it's just based on what they've seen, what they were, grown into, and everything, and what they've experienced. So it's just like, okay, I have to build this up. And a lot of times some women are really hard, where them not let nobody in. They say that, oh, I'm too strong for this, me not fall short. and then them just move on with life. But it's just, I think that's just like a trauma experience. So you carry that into the rest of your life and it spill over into different aspects. But submission, like, no matter how hard a woman is, she can submit. Because girl like me, I know that I can submit. And the thing is, a lot of men aren't leading. Like, you have to instill that you know, that level of responsibility and trustworthiness. You have to show it. May the woman say, you know, so the man really not lead me astray. Like, men really aren't leading these days. Like, they want to lead themselves astray, but not lead blind.
Yes.
But as I'm saying, men aren't showing those qualities for make a woman say, you know, say, boy, God no. Me that's me. But as I said, it's the 1%. And I'm already married. So what we're gonna do? The next 99% hotel I leave people to the grave. And when they think you can't go lower, them get a shovel.
Yeah.
Them get a shovel. I'm putting in the earth core. You know? So I just don't think I don't think a lot of men these days are showing the qualities that women would want.
Do you think, Shanika, starting with you, do you think social media has played a role in terms of gaslighting women, in terms of portraying almost this global movement where women now have to be independent, be on them own, the boy can't say nothing to them, and this is what you'll accept, and you know, almost like, I mean, you want to talk about everybody having their own opinion and it different for everybody. Even brand into that, it's a different things and everybody individual. But when you go up on pages like Shade Room, when you go up on pages, there's several social media platforms, especially where you find a lot of black women. It seems as if like it's just one solid voice around these issues, and like if you don't stand for this as a black woman, you're there for a week. So I don't know.
Next one. Go on.
I was just gonna say, if you look at the statistics, the people who have life the hardest is a black woman. Like, if you look at a calendar, like a socio-economic calendar, black women are always at the bottom. Black women have to be like twice as better than everybody to even get like half the recognition, like literally. And it is sad to say that black women are always like fighting to be recognized, fighting to be appreciated. Because I've been even seeing a lot of TikToks where it's like, you know, you go to like a PWI, which is like a predominantly white institute, and you're like trying to compete with people who are very average, but because you're black, and the world is very biased towards women in general, and they're also biased towards black people. So when you're a black and you're a woman, it's like you feel like the world is against you at all costs. Like, black women are the most scrutinized set of people on this earth. Like, if you ever see how people like look at black women and just say, oh my god, like, why, until like it just pisses me off, right? Because I even see it reach a point where people don't put that they're black on job applications. They don't put that they're women either, because at the end of the day, when them say that, they're like, I don't know, moving on. So like, social media is always highlighting black women.
It's just highlighting,
it's highlighting just to see how people treat them, so how people talk to them. Even men, like, if you see how black men tear down black woman and they give that thing to their mother do black, right? And it's not even tearing down people. And there's no good reason to tear down people. You're tearing down people to bring up your preferences. So if a black man like a white woman, he's going to like, oh, I don't like black bitches. I don't like nappy headed. I don't want my kids' hair to be nappy. Sir, your hair look like pimento chocolate just alpha load from market. Do not start. So it's like, you always have to be tearing down black women to carry somebody else. And you don't need to do that.
You don't need to do that.
Because black women, and one thing about it, even though people treat them bad, them still fight. Black women fight for white women. I say black women fight for black men. Even if black man, I could do them terrible. And it's just how black women are. So I feel like I have no issues with, the only thing I have an issue with is black women being hyper independent. And I think it's because they're forced to be that way. Because nobody else is looking out for them like when them look out for themselves.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
like you
true.
always have to be fighting. Like you always have to fight, and when you fight, you build up this wall, and then nobody can get in because boy, when we see women in a relationship like black women, it really warms so when they're being loved out loud and enjoying the things in life and everything. So it's just that yeah, we'll have it bad out there. We'll have it rough. I hope that was a good
Yeah,
answer.
it's true.
All right, Calvin, is it a case where, so on the point of black women and it's expressing what it is that they go through, is it, and so when we talk about women now, is it a case where it's a problem that has already been solved? Because when they talk about affirmative actions in terms of women are now allowed to vote. So just coming through history, women are now allowed to vote. You now have a case where more women are attending universities than males. More women, when you think about even the Caribbean and Latin America, you have more women who are in managerial position to their male counterpart. Is it that they're still talking about something that has already been solved and they just cannot get over themselves, or is there some truth to what Nets has said?
I mean, there's definitely truth to what Nets would have said, and especially when with the context of social media, we see even the case where, as would have been said, where your own people are tearing you down. So once persons express certain opinions and express certain beliefs, other persons will just tear it down just because it's not something that they agree with, and it's so many times you're attacked simply for being, simply for choosing, simply for doing, but at the end of the day, that's your decision, that's your choice, that's your path. I mean, you're already faced with obstacles in society, obstacles in your various, whether your job, whether your school, you face those societal obstacles, and then your own kind making it more difficult for you. It really is true, and they really face some of those hurdles.
All right. So next comment, there was one. So Kenny K underscore read said it's the same social media that forces women to be hyper independent. I think that's where Jerome was going exactly. We have the highest rate of single mothers. We had no other choice but to be strong. No, because of this deemed as problematic, but it's not our fault. We had no other choice. Yeah. So next, I know the point that I made around, is it that black women are complaining about an issue that has already been solved, and because there may be a school of thought where like, good God, you are now in university than male. Out here I make more money than the male counterparts. What more? Is it that we now have to go back to us not voting? Is it that all the things that you were denied, that males have to now go back through all the things that females were denied for you to feel as if it's going to feel some level of appreciation? Is it that?
Jerome, first of all, these things aren't even close to being solved, right?
Amen.
We make some steps, fine. But the world is still a boys' club. Like, the world is still a boys' club, and that's okay. If you look at the adjectives that are being used to describe black women, you always hear strong. Strong, independent black woman. You ever hear somebody say strong, independent black woman? Or a strong, independent black man? It's always a black woman. Great. But I literally agree with Brandy. Like, black women, like, you're just like, it's like from your bond, it's still instilled in you.
Yeah.
You have to be strong. You have to be strong. And I want to be weak. I don't want strong.
Damsel in distress.
I want gather the ball. I'm a glass slipper drop. I'm in this stress come and say, Bomba, look, my bar people
Yeah,
boots.
no, for real.
Like, Jerome, women aren't making the same amount of money as their male counterparts. Like, that's why people are afraid to talk about salaries, because at the end of the day, you and somebody in the same role, but the man is getting more than you, and he cannot even do the quality of work that you produce. And I've seen that with my two eyes, because girl like me is a worker, right? But my job didn't want to pay me as much because,
Yeah, woman.
well, you're new. No, it's because I'm a woman. I was the first woman in that role.
No, that's what it is. It's
I was
because
the
you're a
first woman
woman.
in that role, and all of a sudden, like, protocols is changing. And even in working and my job experiences, when the manager was a man, everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's so nice! Like, he's the boss. Like, everything he's doing, like, really well." But at the end of the day, when I took over, right? When I took over, I was difficult. I was a bitch. I was everything. And I'm just like, I'm doing the same things that my boss did. Like, even my boss was looking at me, was like, you're doing a really good job. Like, so how other people I said that I'm all of these things, it's because I'm one. I don't know. And I see somebody say, you know, we reach a far way. Yes, we have come a far way, which is what I said earlier. But we have so much further to go. Like,
Yep.
it's not going to be fixed in the next 50 years. Maybe not. Right? But the next 50 years are going to be better than where we are today. If I'm being fair. I mean, if we're not all did that from global warming already, right?
There,
But
next to the point around salary, and again, let me just unequivocally state that at this point, I don't want to trigger any female on this live. These are me just merely asking these questions to be thought provoking and to have the discussion. But no, sometimes I can say things where it seems like I'm being on one side and next. But let me just be clear about that. But my next point next, and Shanika, you can jump in or Calvin at this time. But to when it's talk about the salary, right? When I think about government, the Jamaican government now, from my experience is that most positions are tied to what you call a scale. So there are certain things that protects male versus female. So if me apply for a job at the Ministry of Finance and Shanika apply for that job, whether or not our gender doesn't matter. Anybody who get the job, there's a set scale and a set salary that wouldn't affect the salary or the amount that we are paid. So when you think about things like those that are in place, again, me have to ask, what's your issue around salary?
but Jerome, when you
I don't
speak,
believe in any scale. I do not.
Scale to lie.
Listen,
You
them tell
get the
about
wrong way.
scale for turning an idiot. You know there's a scale that this and that. And once them tell about the scale, automatically you're supposed to believe that it's a fair scale. From what I've experienced in life when it comes on to anything between a man and a woman, it's never fair. That's just it. I don't believe in a no scale.
okay,
Calvin,
so
you think that you by your mere gender, you think you're out here make more than your female counterparts, or you know
And be
woman
honest,
out here in the same position and go on with bigger bags than you and it's a complaint about nothing.
I don't think so. It's not that Nets is not complaining about anything. I know that does exist. But personally, I don't think that situation applies to me. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. So next,
Jerome, let's speak. Become of a point. What you talk about? It's in the government. The government, of course, there are skills as government. Fine, no matter who get the job. But corporate, when you talk about corporate America, talk about corporate Jamaica, talk about like corporate any country, that is where the pay scale start rukukuku. Because everybody in a two, everybody
then
do the same, everybody have the same title, right?
yes,
But then you find
yes.
out, say, you as a woman doing more than what your male counterpart is doing, and have the same role, you know. But then one day in the water room, the breaks room, whatever, you find out, say, you know, more money than you. Like, even my friend came to me the other day and she was like, girl, you know, my ear said somebody make like $15,000 more than her at her job. And they're not even doing half the work that she's doing. I mean, as I see the people, never failed me yet. And it's a thing. So you have to think outside of government because, yeah, government employs people. But when it comes on to like corporate jobs, the pay scale is still on the floor. And guess who's still getting the lowest? Black women. Even Hispanic women get more than black women in jobs, in corporate jobs.
all right, Ned, let's start with Shanika first as we wrap up the conversation because this can go on. I mean, anything around inequality and just the struggles of black women, I don't think we have enough time left on earth to talk about it, just to be fair.
Period.
It's the truth. But Shanika, on your side, so we started the conversation just in terms of women, modern women and relationship. On your side, what are some of the things that men can do to just get them act together for show greater care towards women, especially as we think about dating and caring for the black woman?
You know, I honestly don't know. Like, I know, but I don't know. Because, like, these men these days, like let's talk about the men that I see on social media and the things that come out of their mouths and who for value decrease and who do this and who that and whatever. Personally, I don't believe there's any hope for them. So I really don't know. Stop existing. Somebody said stop. Not me, no. Somebody said stop existing. Not me though. Not me though. But somebody. Somebody said it.
Yo, at the rate of this divide, because I think both things can be true, but I always say when time we get into this conversation about how it is that black men need to respect black women more, I'm just fearful that we're gonna just become black men are gonna become non-existent.
I just have a question. Why do black women have to tell black men to just respect black women more? Like, what did you come out of? Like, you just come out of thin air. You didn't come out of a black woman. Like,
me don't know. Maybe my Maxine they beat me too much, so me just know I have to respect women.
I don't get it.
It comes first nature. I think has something to do with that. I think honestly there was a generation that keep getting beaten and beaten from their mother. So they don't have respect for girl child and women. So I think of that. That's how me think. But next, same question for you. What should men or can men even start doing?
Let me see my hair to the side. Okay, I joke. But in my honest and gut feeling opinion, I think that men need to do two things. No, three. Three. Number one, shut the fuck up. Right? Men need to shut up sometimes.
That is so.
99.2% of the time, men need to shut up. That 0.8% of the time, you can talk if you have something good for say. But half the time, he's not really saying anything.
Yeah, man,
and I'm not bashing men. I just feel like a lot of times when men open their mouth, it's literally to disrespect women. Especially when they sit on them phone and go up on podcasts. Don't do it.
Take up the mic.
Number two, I wish men would just leave women alone. Like, sometimes women are there peaceful in themselves, you know. And a man just say, you know, something like this, maybe disrupt her. I don't like this. Let me disrupt her peace,
Yeah, man.
and then just disappear. And then this woman is left all alone, picking up the dismantled pieces.
Yeah.
And number three, I really want men to sit down and look into themselves.
Reevaluate, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like introspection, prayer, journal, something.
Read the Bible. Read the Bible.
Talk to God.
Yeah,
listen, talk to your dead grandmother. Something have to give.
Call up your ancestors then.
I say if they can't do them three things there, the only thing left for you do is go war and make them shoot you. That's it.
Mighty gosh. Calvin, we can't read all of Brandy comments because Brandy really and truly, look here, we're going to look who Brandy is and we need to add her to one of these conversations. Brandy, we need a one if you come for the show come on. Not just message. We're doing you right after this. Brandy said men ain't even attracted to women who look like their mothers. Their motto is if it ain't light, it ain't right. Personally, Calvin, I mean, do you have a skin tone? Does it matter for you?
No, it doesn't matter. But if I'm gonna select a woman and say, yo, if I'm gonna make a woman and say this is the perfect woman for me, she would actually be dark skinned, not light. So
But you can admit that that's not typical for Jamaican men.
Yeah, it's not typical.
You have to have a browning.
Browning,
yeah,
and
then you go further
I don't have that browning.
That's your up one. You winning. Browning.
I'm not brown though.
Yeah.
I'm not light skinned. Like, I'm not light skinned.
In terms of what men can do though, I think this is the secret. This is the cheat code.
You know, you're not listen. What you say? All right, go on.
But when it comes down to relationship, I think the man needs to understand that he is the boss, but that the woman is the real boss. Yeah? And when the woman understands also that he is the boss and that she is the real boss. You're with me? You're with me? So even though the man can say, yo, he's in charge, allowing your woman to take care of things, I think you win. because she's gonna do that knowing what you have in mind. So yeah.
Yeah, I know. For me, like just growing up, on a personal note, I would have seen. So I had the benefit of having both parents around and actually loving and being cared for by both parents. But I would have seen that my mom would have endured just a certain level of hardship. And again, I think flows naturally because of she being a woman. Like, there was no doubt about that. Certain things that happened to my mother was merely because she was a woman. And I think that there were certain things also that my mom would just go above and beyond to sacrifice. And we continue to see it just always in our culture with our women. You will see one woman out a door or just walking with five kids plus something on her back. Just those symbolic things. So caring and protecting our black women has just always been something that I think we fall short on doing as black men. But that's what call out the other races. But I think so we as black men have a serious problem protecting and caring for our black women. And if we don't lead by example, I don't think nobody will ever catch up.
Exactly. Because if
But the
black men don't
conversation
care
could
about
go
black
on
women, who
forever.
will care?
Yes.
Next, tell the people what you need to tell them before we go.
Okay, guys, so back again with this week's Facts Fact. And so it's the belief of a lot of people, simple-minded people, of course, not the bright academics on this live.
Right.
And in the comments, that the COVID-19 vaccine has microchips. Nobody know what track though. People, they're more for tracking from on a WhatsApp status, on a location or on Instagram. The vaccine is literally just to try to stop the pandemic and not make people die. So no microchips, nobody know what fast their business. Just, life and strength to say.
Yeah, you're not that important.
Shanika Terba. All right, guys. If you want to book a vaccination appointment, we're actually assisting people to do so. So you can send us a DM, and we will just tell us where you're located, and we will definitely book the vaccine appointment for you. Take all the hassle and stress out. Shanika, tell the people what you need to tell them before we go.
Guys, follow me on Instagram at HeyShanika. But it's always the same thing, guys. Go get tested. Have protective sex. And if you have more than one partner, be honest and open about it. If you're thinking about having sex raw with somebody, go get tested together because you can do that. Yeah, that's it.
Calvin?
Well, as my shirt said, do it safe. So a part of doing it safe is coming to Jamaica Aid Support for Life and getting tested. You can always book your free HIV and syphilis test, myhealthja.org. And yeah, just get it done and use your condoms and your loops.
All right, cool. So to all of the persons who would have joined me from Calvin page, Ned's, or Shanika's page, just be sure to follow us at JASL Info on Instagram so you can stay tuned to all that is happening and just find out all that you need to about your sexual reproductive health. We come on every Wednesday to have these conversations that sometimes not necessarily have anything to do with HIV and syphilis and testing, but they are very much important conversation for our holistic development. So until next week, let's tell all on bye-bye. I am _Brandy. You may go in your inbox, so see you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.